On this day in history, we remember the remarkable individuals who shaped our world. Welcome to Who Died Today in History, where we honor their legacies. From artists to leaders, their impact lives on. If you find their stories meaningful, like, subscribe, and hit the bell to stay connected. Anna Grace Phelan, a 19-year-old TikTok creator from Jefferson, Georgia, passed away on May 23, 2025, after an 8-month battle with glioblastoma, an aggressive and incurable brain cancer. Her journey, shared openly with over 150,000 followers, became a testament to resilience, faith, and the power of digital community. Diagnosed just days before starting college in September 2024, Anna Grace first experienced symptoms like facial numbness, vision problems, and balance issues. An MRI and subsequent biopsy confirmed the presence of a malignant brain tumor. Despite the devastating news, she chose to document her experience on TikTok, offering candid updates about her health, treatments, and unwavering Christian faith. In one of her final videos posted on May 14th, she revealed that her tumor had grown into an inoperable area affecting her breathing, yet she remained hopeful, stating, "It would take a miracle, but I'm not giving up yet." Anna Grace's passing was announced through a heartfelt message on her TikTok page, expressing gratitude for the support and prayers she received. Her funeral service was held at Galilee Christian Church in Jackson County, Georgia, followed by burial at the church's cemetery. She is survived by her parents, William Buddy and Nadine Phelan, and her brother, Harper David Phelan. Her death underscores the challenges faced by young individuals battling terminal illnesses and highlights the role of social media in providing a platform for sharing personal stories. Through her transparency and faith, Anna Grace inspired many, with followers expressing how her journey led them to reconnect with their own spirituality. In reflecting on Anna Grace Phelan's life and passing, we are reminded of humanity's enduring relationship with mortality, the influence of personal narratives, and the ways in which individuals are commemorated. Her legacy lives on through the digital footprint she left behind, the lives she touched, and the conversations she sparked about faith, resilience, and the human spirit. Ray Liotta, the acclaimed American actor best known for his iconic role as Henry Hill in Goodfellas, died unexpectedly on May 26, 2022, at the age of 67. He passed away in his sleep in the Dominican Republic while filming the movie Dangerous Waters. His death was ruled natural, though it came as a shock to fans and peers alike, as he had remained active in his career and public appearances up to his final days. Liotta's sudden passing reflected the fragility of life, even for those who seem vigorous and ever-present in the public eye. In an industry that often romanticizes youth and resilience, his death served as a sobering reminder that mortality touches even the most seemingly invincible figures. The timing, while on a film set, added a poignant note, underscoring his dedication to his craft until the end. The immediate consequences of Liotta's death were felt across Hollywood and among his global fan base. Tributes poured in from fellow actors, directors, and fans who celebrated his intense, often haunting portrayals of complex characters. Martin Scorsese, Robert De Niro, and many others expressed their sorrow and admiration, noting that Liotta brought a unique combination of vulnerability and menace to the screen that few could match. While his death may not have shifted the trajectory of global history, it certainly amplified his legacy. Liotta's body of work, particularly his portrayal of morally ambiguous and emotionally charged characters, became a renewed subject of critical appreciation. His roles often reflected the American cinematic fascination with crime, redemption, and masculinity, central themes of the late 20th century and early 21st. Ray Liotta's death also invites reflection on how we remember and immortalize artists. His face, voice, and performances are preserved in film, a medium uniquely suited to defy death's finality. Through streaming services, retrospectives, and tributes, new generations continue to discover his work. He lives on not just as Henry Hill, but as Shoeless Joe Jackson in Field of Dreams, as well as countless other characters etched into popular culture. Ultimately, Liotta's passing highlights humanity's eternal dance with memory and mortality. We turn to art to keep our icons alive, to rewatch, to reinterpret, and to remember. In doing so, we ensure that figures like Ray Liotta remain more than just names on a marquee. They become legends. Eddie Albert, a beloved American actor and humanitarian, died of natural causes on May 26, 2005 at the age of 99. He passed away at his home in Pacific Palisades, California, due to complications from pneumonia. Known widely for his role in the television sitcom Green Acres, Albert's life and death embody a chapter of American entertainment that blended humor, idealism, and social consciousness. Albert's death, while peaceful, came at the end of a long life that spanned nearly an entire century of American cultural transformation. Born in 1906, he witnessed two world wars, the Great Depression, the Civil Rights Movement, and the evolution of television. His passing marked the gradual fading of the golden age of Hollywood and early TV, when stars not only entertained, but often stood as models of moral clarity and civic virtue. His active support of environmental causes and his service in World War II, where he was awarded the Bronze Star for heroism, reflected values of duty, integrity, and public service that many view as emblematic of his generation. The immediate impact of Albert's death was a flood of tributes celebrating his multifaceted legacy, not just as an actor, but as a war hero and environmental advocate. While his passing didn't change the course of history, it did remind the public of a kind of celebrity who blended talent with moral commitment. In an era increasingly shaped by celebrity culture and rapid media cycles, Albert stood out as a reminder of more enduring values. Albert's legacy has been kept alive through retrospectives of his work, especially Green Acres, which remains a staple of classic American television. His life has also inspired discussions about the role of actors in activism, predating today's celebrity involvement in global causes. While his name may not be as instantly recognizable to younger audiences, those familiar with his work continue to honor him as a figure of artistic versatility and personal bravery. In reflecting on Albert's life and death, we see how mortality touches even those who seemed timeless. Yet, through storytelling, whether on screen or in personal recollections, we preserve the essence of figures like Albert. In doing so, we honor not just their achievements but the values they embodied, weaving their memory into the broader fabric of cultural history. Sidney Pollack, the acclaimed American director, producer, and actor, died of cancer on May 26, 2008, at the age of 73. His passing marked the end of an era in Hollywood filmmaking defined by a thoughtful blend of artistry and mainstream appeal. Pollack died at his home in Pacific Palisades, Los Angeles, surrounded by family, after battling a form of stomach cancer for nearly 10 months. Pollack's death was natural, but it came at a time when the film industry was transitioning rapidly into the digital age, an era he had watched approach with both interest and concern. His career, which spanned more than 4 decades, reflected the values of craftsmanship, narrative depth, and the director's role as both artist and collaborator. Pollack was renowned for bringing emotional resonance to big-picture themes, as seen in films like Out of Africa, Tootsie, and The Way We Were. His passing highlighted a shift in cinema from character-driven dramas to more spectacle-oriented storytelling, prompting reflection on the kind of emotionally intelligent filmmaking that was becoming less common. The immediate consequence of Pollack's death was an outpouring of tributes from across the industry. Colleagues remembered him not only for his films, but for his generosity, integrity, and ability to bridge the gap between art and commerce. His passing also brought renewed attention to his body of work, sparking retrospectives that introduced younger audiences to his contributions behind the camera and in front of it, such as his memorable roles in Eyes Wide Shut and Michael Clayton. While Pollock's death didn't alter the trajectory of history, it amplified his legend. He became a symbol of a certain kind of Hollywood professionalism, deeply invested in storytelling, respectful of actors, and unafraid to tackle complex human themes. His legacy endures not just through his films, but also through the directors and actors he mentored and influenced. Ultimately, Pollock's death, like those of many great artists, underscores our human urge to preserve memory through creation. Through film, we immortalize moments, emotions, and philosophies, allowing figures like Pollock to speak across generations. His name remains synonymous with elegance in storytelling, a reminder that while life ends, the stories we tell can echo far beyond our time. Richard Hurd, a distinguished character actor best known for his roles in Seinfeld Fees and All the President's Men, died of cancer-related causes on May 26, 2020, at the age of 87. Passing peacefully at his Los Angeles home, Hurd's death was natural, but it came during a moment of profound global reflection amid the early months of the COVID-19 pandemic, when the entertainment world was forced to pause and reckon with the fragility of life and legacy. Hurd's career, spanning over 5 decades, reflected the values of consistency, versatility, and professionalism in a rapidly evolving entertainment industry. He rarely played leading roles, but his strong, authoritative presence gave weight to every scene he occupied. In an age often driven by celebrity culture and instant fame, Hurd represented a bygone era in which talent and dedication, not visibility, earned respect. His passing did not dominate headlines, but resonated deeply within the acting community, especially among those who recognize the vital role character actors play in shaping compelling stories. The immediate consequence of Hurd's death was a wave of tributes from fellow actors and fans who fondly remembered his work, particularly his portrayal of Mr. Wilhelm on Seinfeld, a character that, while secondary, became iconic due to Hurd's deadpan delivery and comedic timing. His role in the sci-fi miniseries V also earned him a loyal fan base, underscoring his broad reach across genres. His death sparked a renewed appreciation for actors who enrich stories from the periphery, often without the acclaim they deserve. Though his passing did not alter the course of history, it did amplify his legend in a quiet but meaningful way. Hurd became emblematic of the many unsung contributors to Hollywood's golden storytelling tradition, reliable, enduring, and quietly brilliant. In reflecting on Richard Hurd's death, we are reminded of humanity's enduring need to remember those who shape our cultural landscapes, even from the shadows. We immortalize such figures not only through their screen work, but through the gratitude of those they inspired, actors, writers, and audiences alike. In tributes, retrospectives, and the perpetual reruns of classic television, Hurd's memory lives on, a testament to how even understated lives can leave indelible marks. Jim Bunning, a towering figure in both professional sports and American politics, died of complications from a stroke on May 26, 2017, at the age of 85. His passing, though natural, marked the end of a life uniquely split between 2 high-profile arenas, Major League Baseball and the United States Senate. In both, Bunning was known for his discipline, focus, and unwavering convictions, traits that defined his legacy and mirrored the values of mid-20th century American ideals. Bunning's death came at a time when the U.S. political landscape was experiencing intense division, making his legacy as a principled conservative particularly resonant. Known for his strong opinions and fiscal conservatism, he was often at odds with members of both major parties. In this way, his political death reflected a growing national discourse about the role of ideology in governance and the increasing polarization in Washington. As a senator from Kentucky, Bunning was never one to shy away from controversial stances, and his firm resolve highlighted an era when personal conviction was both admired and scrutinized in equal measure. Before politics, Bunning made history in baseball. A Hall of Fame pitcher, he became only the second pitcher in MLB history to throw a perfect game in both the American and National Leagues, a feat that established him as a disciplined, strategic athlete. His dual career success was a rarity, reflecting a uniquely American belief in reinvention and the pursuit of excellence across different spheres. The immediate consequence of Bunning's passing was a wave of respect from both the sports and political communities. Tributes poured in, highlighting his commitment to family, country, and competition. Though his political career ended in 2011, his death rekindled debates about ideological purity in Congress and the athlete-politician archetype in American public life. In remembering Bunning, we glimpse the evolving relationship humanity has with mortality and memory. His story is a reminder that legacies are not always built on mass popularity, but on consistency, courage, and the willingness to stand firm in one's beliefs. We commemorate figures like Bunning through Hall of Fame inductions, Senate records, and stories passed down through generations, testaments not only to what they achieved, but to what they stood for. In this way, Bunning's departure echoes as a steady footnote in America's enduring narrative of perseverance and principle. Ed Walsh, a dominant force in early 20th century baseball, died of natural causes on May 26, 1959, at the age of 78. Known for his legendary spitball and unrelenting stamina, Walsh's death marked the quiet passing of an athlete from a bygone era, one defined by grueling endurance and minimal fanfare. His life and death reflect the values of early American sports: toughness, perseverance, and a devotion to the game that often came at great personal cost. Walsh's playing career, primarily with the Chicago White Sox, was both brilliant and brief. Between 1904 and 1917, he accumulated a record 1.82 career ERA, still the lowest in Major League Baseball history. However, the very tenacity that made him great also led to his downfall. Pitching almost every day in the dead ball era, Walsh's arm eventually gave out, and he retired prematurely due to injuries that modern sports medicine might have mitigated. His death decades later, though not tragic in a headline-grabbing sense, symbolized the physical toll that early professional sports demanded of its heroes. At the time of Walsh's death, baseball was undergoing a transformation. The game was becoming faster, more commercialized, and reliant on different kinds of athleticism. Walsh represented a link to the roots of America's pastime, when players endured doubleheaders and traveled by train, earning modest salaries while becoming local legends. His passing was a reminder of how far the sport had come and how it had left behind some of its original titans. Though his death did not dramatically alter the course of history, it did help solidify Walsh's legacy. Retrospective analysis and historical comparisons brought renewed attention to his achievements. In the years following his death, discussions about pitching greatness often included his name, particularly as analysts began to value advanced statistics and historical context more deeply. He had already been inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1946, ensuring that his legacy would be preserved. Ed Walsh's death reveals much about our relationship with mortality and memory in the realm of sport. We often glorify the present, but it is the pioneers, those who shaped the game under harsher conditions, who remind us of its roots. Their memory is kept alive through Hall of Fame enshrinement, documentaries, and stat-driven retrospectives, honoring not only their achievements, but the spirit of their era. Jimmie Rodgers, often called the father of country music, died on May 26, 1933, at the age of 35 from complications of tuberculosis, a disease he had battled for much of his adult life. His death was natural, but in many ways, it was hastened by the relentless demands of his career and the limited medical options available in Depression-era America. His passing marked the tragic end of a man whose voice and music had become a cornerstone of early American popular culture. Rodgers' struggle with tuberculosis shaped not only his life but also his artistry. Diagnosed in the mid-1920s, he refused to let illness curtail his creative drive. Instead, he leaned into his condition, crafting songs that reflected hardship, longing, and perseverance. Known for his signature yodel and heartfelt lyrics, Rodgers resonated with a working-class America reeling from economic collapse. His songs like TB Blues and Waiting for a Train captured the struggles of the era with haunting honesty. In the final days of his life, Rodgers recorded a series of tracks in New York City while gravely ill. According to reports, he was so weak that he had to rest on a cot between takes. That final session, held in May 1933, became a powerful testament to his dedication and legacy. Just days later, he succumbed to his illness in a hotel room. The image of Rodgers, sick but still singing, became iconic, cementing his mythic status in American music history. The immediate impact of Rodgers' death was felt deeply in the music world. Though he had only been active for a few short years, his influence was vast. He became a model for countless future artists, from Hank Williams to Merle Haggard. In 1961, he was among the first inductees into the Country Music Hall of Fame, and his legacy has since been preserved through reissues, documentaries, and musical tributes. Jimmie Rodgers' death underscores how mortality can magnify legacy. His short life, filled with both suffering and creative triumph, reflects the universal human themes of resilience and expression. We honor him not only through institutions and recordings, but through the enduring influence his voice has had on generations of artists. In remembering Rodgers, we confront the fragility of life and the power of art to transcend it. Anne Haney, best remembered for her warm but stern presence in roles like the social worker, Mrs. Sellner in Mrs. Doubtfire and the no-nonsense secretary in Liar Liar, died on May 26, 2001 from heart failure at the age of 67. Her death was natural, occurring quietly after a long and fruitful career that often placed her in supporting roles that left lasting impressions. Though not a towering Hollywood icon in the traditional sense, Haney's passing reminded audiences of the enduring value of character actors who shaped the emotional depth of film and television. The circumstances of Haney's death reflected a generational transition in Hollywood. By the early 2000s, the entertainment industry was shifting toward youth-driven content and blockbuster franchises, often sidelining the seasoned performers who had helped define earlier eras of cinema and television. Haney's career thrived during a time when secondary characters were richly written and essential to storytelling, a reflection of a time when narrative depth was cherished alongside star power. While her death did not send shockwaves through global headlines, it did stir meaningful tributes from fans and fellow actors who had worked with her. Many remembered her as a consummate professional, quick-witted, precise, and deeply committed to her craft. The loss of Haney underscored how many of Hollywood's most enduring stories rely on the subtleties brought by supporting roles. Her work in film and television added credibility and heart, elevating the performances of those around her and anchoring scenes with authenticity. Haney's passing offers a lens into how we understand legacy beyond the spotlight. Her death did not shift the trajectory of history, but it did prompt a reflection on the unsung contributors to popular culture. The admiration she continues to receive today, often sparked by a rediscovery of her roles on streaming platforms, shows how memory is preserved not just through marquee names, but through the quiet impact of consistent, quality artistry. We immortalize figures like Anne Haney through the stories they helped tell. Whether through film reruns, tribute articles, or fan discussions, her presence endures. Her life and passing remind us that memory often honors those who brought subtle, steadfast strength to the world's stage, revealing that power lies not only in fame, but in the lasting resonance of performance.